Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about recruitment costs. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, hi Frederick, pretty unrelated to the video, but you mentioned before that finding or recruiting a new developer costs a certain amount of money, somewhere in the tens of thousands, but somehow as someone who doesn't actually recruit, why does it cost so much? Can't you just post a vacancy on some message board for, let's say, $100 and then interview some people and then hire someone? How would that take tens of thousands? Well, I'll challenge you right here and right now. Let's pretend now that you are, like, because I mean, if you're gonna hire literally anybody who is going to be your software developer to do, say, some freelancing gig or something very small, then yeah, what you just stated could work. It could definitely work. It's probably not going to work, but it could work. If you post a I'm looking for developers type of thing on just quote unquote some message board, I will be amazed if you get anyone of any quality to reply to you. I mean, if you get any type of feedback that is not like, hey, I am a complete fresh beginner who's never coded in my life, or I am this one person company who has no work experience, etc. If you get anything that isn't that, I will be very good for you. Then you should be a recruiter, because the likelihood that an experienced software developer is going to connect with you over when you do so, if by that thing alone, is very, very low. And if you do manage to get somebody, it's probably going to be a bottom of the barrel developer. You see, most professional grade software developers are already employed. I think the last time I checked, the unemployment rate was, I think it was less than 3% or something like that globally. Less than 3%. That's a pretty good number it's a pretty good number for any industry to have that amount of people in the workforce. It's not a nice number if you want new people into your company, and everybody wants developers. Literally everybody. It's I don't think I know a single, apart from the companies who basically are going under. Apart from them, practically everybody's looking for a software developer. And the thing is, the reason why this costs so much is because the process of finding a decent software developer is a pretty tedious one. So to have any real chance to recruit a software developer, there are a few strategies, but the normal one is that either you have to yourself, as whoever's I've been in companies where most of them, what they do is that they hire recruiters from some agency or some other company to take care of it. But I've also worked with people where they have HR people who do this within the company, and then you need to start posting on different boards. You need to I can think of every HR person I've ever talked to, they've said that posting, say on LinkedIn or something like that, you practically never get anything decent through those channels. The good ones, the good developers, usually are outbound. It's very rare that you get an inbound lead on something. It's usually that you connect with someone or you get to talking to someone, because as I said, the really good ones, they can work whenever they have work wherever they want practically. And so doing that costs a lot of money, because you basically you're paying someone to go and find you a set of candidates. And if you're doing it through recruiters, they usually charge if you recruit that person, that's a buttload of money. They're gonna charge you a lot of money. There's big business, and I do mean big business, in recruiting IT talents. It is a racket. I'm not going to dive in on my opinions on the recruiters in IT, but they are fucking vultures. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are. So if you think about that, if either you're paying a recruiter or you're going to do it yourself. And if you're going to do it yourself, well, trust me when I say this, that will take months. And that is just in the process of like finding people, like connecting with people, and then starting conversations with people, screening them, and like all that stuff. And then you also have to, as like kind of we're segueing into, you have to have a screening process. You have to decide on what type of developers do you need. You need to design some type of code test or some interviewing process or something like that. And then of course once you get them hired, you need to have an onboarding period, because unless you, like, I mean, sure, if you're hiring someone who's super senior, the onboarding process should be fairly low, or it should be fairly short, but you still have internal systems and so forth. So there's going to be this little gap usually for anybody you hire before they get truly productive. And and now I'm not even speculating in what you're going to have to pay to get that person in the first place, because usually, unless you have something to offer, they don't really have all that much incentive to come and work for you. So what I want you to take away from this is that the reason why a onboarding process or like hiring a new software developer can cost a ridiculous amount of money is because there's simply not enough of them to go around. And if you want the good ones, you're gonna have to convince them to come and work for you, or try to find them in some way. And trust me when I say this, you are not alone in that game. There are like the spam that the software developers are getting from recruiters it's ludicrous. It's I mean, shit. I get more recruitment offers or like connection requests and stuff like that than I get Viagra spam or eHarmony spam. That's at the level we're talking about. And this is for practically everyone who has a few years of experience. So the average company pays some external company who usually has like a network or something like that, or you're just going to do the grunt work to find someone who is worth hiring. Or you do it in-house, and that's still salary time, and it's going to, well, if you calculate your own salary, well, it's gonna take time. And finally, when all is said and done, well, hopefully they're going to be a good hire, and hopefully they're going to stick around and so forth. But if things don't turn out so well, you might lose them very quickly again, because as I said, like, the motivation for a software developer to job hop is pretty darn high if they're good. So being someone who's trying to hire software developers is not that fun, not in these times. But then again, it is the lay of the land. It's the hard to. It is the way it is. And I mean, being a software developer is great fun and all, being in high demand. But on the other hand, you also have to deal with the bullshit recruitment process. So there are pros and there are cons, regardless of which side of the fence you sit on. Have a great day.